Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make this medieval library. I was originally going to end this medieval town episode last time, but I was like, nah, I want to build a library. So here we are. If you like this or find it helpful, make sure to like and subscribe, and without any further ado, let's get right into this. Alright, so as always, here's our floor layout. All the pillars are 3 blocks apart, so let's get started. We're going to make them all 5 blocks tall. And on the long sides, there will be 5 pillars, and on the short sides, there are only 3 pillars. And the middle ones on the short sides will be 9 blocks tall. Just like that. Alright, so far so good. Let's get a horizontal beams going, just like so. Just connecting everything up, make it look a little better. Okay, once we do that, we're going to move on to the walls, where we're going to take stone brick and just place them all along the bottom block. Once you do that, we're going to take the cobblestone and we're going to start off with the door one, so that obviously will have a hole for the door, and then the ones on either side of the door we're going to fill in completely, and all the rest we're going to add windows. And once we do that, we're going to move on to the windows. I like to use stained glass just because regular glass I feel doesn't look as good, but I know a lot of people disagree with me, so whichever you prefer, obviously. Let's put in the door. We're going to go to the inside so it can have a little depth on the outside, and move on to the roof. The roof is going to be a fairly standard A-frame. We're going to start off by placing all the blocks along the top segment like this. And once we do that, we're going to add slabs on both of these and just come up with our stairs like this. Just like pretty much all the other buildings in the village. Alright, so in building this, you probably noticed I left a large gap right in the center of this. That is because we're going to build a little tower going up. Ooh. Misplaced. I should have had one more row here. So this is just a 5 by 5 square with the middle lined up with these and that. So this tower is going to be 7 blocks tall, starting here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to do that on all 4 sides. Once you do that, we're going to fill everything in with cobblestone. And for the windows, because of course we're going to have windows on our tower, we're going to add the top block of cobblestone will still be there, but then 3 below that will be missing. So these are going to be extra tall windows compared to the ones on the ground. But I'm still going to use the same glass. For the roof, we are going to make another A-frame. However, this one will be perpendicular to the one we have down here. So it's going to be going that way instead of that way. Y'all get the point. You see how I'm placing the stairs. Apart from that, it's going to be the same with the slab stair method. And we're going to real quick fill in the top of the walls, because I forgot to do that when we were doing the rest of the walls. We're also going to do that for this thing too. Alright, that is the outside done. Pretty simple altogether, but it's a pretty good design too. It doesn't need to be complex. If you made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe, and without any further ado, let's move on to the inside. For the inside, I'm going to do something different than what I did for all the other buildings. Instead of adding a regular ceiling, I'm going to keep the triangle shape and just smooth it out with some stairs on the inside. And then for this middle segment, I'm going to take a spruce trapdoor and run it along like this. I know resources can be tight on survival worlds, so slabs are a good alternative if you don't want to collect that much spruce wood. On this tall part, I am going to add a normal ceiling, just spruce wood along the bottom like that, and then I'm going to hang bookshelves from here. Sort of like this is the forbidden knowledge in the library. Kinda dumb, I know, but I thought was a fun idea. Moving on to the main interior parts, not just the ceiling and stuff, I laid out all the bookshelves like so with oak, just to make it easier to see. So for all of these where you see the oak, we're going to make 3 blocks tall of bookshelves. With the exception of this one right here, which will be the lectern. This is where the librarian will be. And then on the ends of all the bookshelves, we're going to throw some spruce trapdoors. This is just because it doesn't really make sense to have books on both sides, because they'd be intersecting up here. So we're going to make it look like there isn't. There we have all of our bookshelves. Here I add some carpet. This is just for some hidden lighting. I have some glowstone underneath it. And if you want to keep the librarian in here all the time, I like to secretly add a bed to this part. This way the librarian will spend more time in here and not wandering around to other places. This section right here you probably noticed was different. That's because we're going to make it a table. So starting off, we're going to add a floating spruce slab right there, with 4 stairs around it. Then fill in the corners with oak slabs again. And on all the spots around the table, we're going to add dark oak slabs, just because we're going to have some nice chairs, and I made a different color from the desk and the floor, just so it doesn't sort of blend together. I like using trapdoors and slabs for chairs. The reason I don't use regular doors is because they have the handle visible, and it just kind of looks funky with the handle. And decorating the table will be the last thing to do, so we're just gonna add some candles here, add a little flower pot. I like it because it's like the cup of somebody who's here, but you can imagine it as anything else. You could put a flower in there and make it just a regular flower pot. And then finally, I like to add some glowing item frames because we're gonna put some maps in here. I like to use the glowing ones just for a little bit of extra hidden light, but the candles work well enough, so if you don't have the resources or just don't want to, it's not actually a big deal. Alright, I real quick filled in the maps, just with the surrounding area. That's not the correct order. One second, let me get this right. There you have it, all finished. Whole library's looking beautiful. Looks like a villager finally took to being a librarian.